Hello guys, I hope all of you are doing well. And guys, this is a video specifically for the FMG students, and that too who are freshers. They're gonna appear for the December FMG exam, right? This is gonna be their first take on the FMG exam. Again, this is specifically for those students who are simultaneously preparing for the exam and attending classes, either offline or online. Whichever platform you're using does not matter. Whatever I'm going to speak today in this video can be used by any student using any platform. So how should I prepare? What should I do differently while I'm attending classes or using apps? What should I do differently with respect to the exam so that my chances of crossing that magic mark of 150, it becomes real? There has to be a lot of hard work. All of you agree with that. Plus, there has to be some smart work. So I have to make a combination of hard work and smart work moving together towards my goal ultimately, that is the D-Day, the exam which is going to happen in the month of December, most probably, right? So guys, let us discuss what are we supposed to do to get there. So guys, first of all, let me talk about the roadmap, right? So if you look at this, the roadmap, what does it mean? And as an FMG aspirant, I've just arrived from whatever country I was in, and now I've joined some offline coaching, or I'm doing some app-based coaching. I'm doing my classes. Now, simultaneously, what should I do every day so that I can reach my destination on time? Now, what do I mean by this? Let us suppose you are standing here today, right? Today. Now, this is where you are standing today. And suppose this is my, let me take December 15 as my exam date. Suppose this is my exam date. So I'm not saying this is exactly the exam date, but I'm just hypothesizing possibly 15th December the exam date, just for example, right? So I have to cover a distance till December 15. I have to give the exam on December 15, right? But how this distance I have to cover, that is what a lot of students, they don't know about. They keep on scratching their head, right? Going here and there. So let me tell you that this is the distance I have to cover. You know what well falls before the exam date is, suppose, when your classes, suppose, let me take an example of offline coaching. Suppose you are attending some offline coaching, and let us say 30th of October is when my classes are gonna be over. Classes are gonna be over, and then I would be left from 30th October. So essentially November and December. So I am remaining with 45 days, and these 45 days are for revision, right? So first, let me get that clear in my head. This 45 days I have to revise. Now, these days, as you can see here, whatever days are remaining now, all of you, some classes you guys must have covered. Now I'm going to tell you, when the 19 subjects are being covered, class after class, class after class, class after class, the subjects are getting over. The subjects are getting over. But then what should I do differently while my teachers are completing these 19 subjects in my offline coaching, or if I'm completing these 19 subjects in my online app? So I have to do some things differently, right? So first, there are multiple ingredients to clear a competitive exam or a screening exam. So one of those ingredient is, most important ingredients is your notes. So first thing, I need to have good notes to clear the exam, and the best notes are, your own handwritten notes are the best one. So remember, the single most important deciding factor of how are you going to fare in the exam, it depends upon how good your notes are, how well you have taken them down. I'm not saying if you use printed notes, you will not clear the exam. I'm just saying handwritten notes are much, much more productive as compared to sorry, as compared to the printed notes. So one of the important thing is notes. Second important thing is the Q bank. So I have to solve a lot of questions. I'll discuss in details about that, right? QBank, I have to solve MCQs every day. Second important is QBank. Third important for these 19 subjects, I need to give GDs or grant test. So guys, clearing a competitive or screening exam like FMG exam, you need to keep a balance between notes, QBank and GDs. Remember, in your preparation, if any one of these is missing, then you know the reason why you cannot clear the exam, right? And I'm damn serious about that. So you have to create a well-crafted, balanced preparation where the notes, the QBank and the grant test, all of them, they have their important positions. Now, before I move ahead with QBank and GDs and all, let me tell you one thing. See guys, this is everything that you need to clear the exam. And for all these 19 subjects, you should have only one source, right? Only one source. So suppose you are studying pharma, have one source. Don't follow multiple sources. Don't follow multiple sources. That is counterproductive. Right? Just follow one source, whoever you are following, whoever. All teachers are good. All of them, they teach the same thing. The way of teaching is different, but the things are essentially same, right? So first of all, whatever coaching you are attending now, whatever app you are following, please keep following that, right? Be practical, right? Don't go with the naysayers. People will say that let us do from here or there. Nothing doing, guys. You don't have that much time to experiment with your preparation. You have joined some offline coaching, you have bought some app, believe in that offline coaching, believe in that app, and you will clear the exam. Because see, if you look at the scenario, it's not the coachings or the apps or the teachers who clear the exam. It is you who is going to clear the exam, right? So ultimately, it comes down to you. How are you utilizing these resources? I hope you're getting my point, what I'm trying to say, right? Because it's not that students only from one coaching, they clear the exam. Students from all the coachings, they clear the exams, right? So coming back to the point here, you should have one source and you need to refine that source time and again. What you need to do, I'll tell you. So I'll talk about the notes, what I need to do with my notes. I'll talk about the QBank. I'll talk about the grant test. And then finally, we'll talk about when your classes get over, how I'm going to plan for revision as well, right? So let us come back to an important point. Now, this is one thing that a lot of students, they don't understand. What is the meaning of completing a subject? What does it mean? Suppose let me talk about offline coaching, right? A teacher will come, he will teach, you will make your notes, and the teacher goes away, and then the note takes a back seat, and the second class comes, right? Now, before that second class, I have to do something which will make me realize that this is going to help me somewhere, and that somewhere is revision. So completing a subject, it's not just about the teacher completing the subject, you just reading it once and done. Okay, I've completed the subject. No, guys, no, that is not the way you complete a subject. Why am I telling this? The reason being, whenever you complete a subject, mind it, this is the most important point. Whenever you complete a subject, always keep revision in mind, because once you complete it for the first time, later you're going to revise that particular subject as well. You're going to revise those particular notes as well. So you have to think about revision. You have to reinvent yourself how you're going to revise that subject later. Why am I telling you this? To make you understand this, let me take you to revision first. So I'm jumping ahead to revision so that I can make you understand what is the meaning of completing a subject. So role of revision. Now see, what did I say? That let us take, for example, how many days I have. I said, suppose I have 45 days for revision, right? So as a student, how I used to plan my revision, the same I'm going to tell you. Say revision, I need at least 3 revisions. But try to understand, these 3 revisions, they're not going to be 15, 15, 15. No, it's not like that. That revision, it should be like an inverted pyramid, right? For example, my first revision, I'll do it for around 30 days. Second revision, I'll do it for around 10 days. And the last revision, I'll do it for around 5 days. Now, why am I telling you this is, see, at the end of the day, this is my day of exam, right? This is my day of exam. Where I'm going to go, just imagine what happens in these exams like FMG exam. is you're just aiming for that one day, that exam day, one day, and one day, how many subjects? 19 subjects, right? So what is my aim as a student? It is to squeeze that information and take as much as possible information, at least on that one particular day of exam. Whatever happens after that day, I'm not bothered about that. So how can I do that? I keep on squeezing the information, right? By revising it first in 30 days, followed by revising again in 10 days, followed by overlooking in 5 days. Now just tell me one thing, 30 days, it might be enough to revise your 19 subjects, but is it practical to revise everything in 10 days or 5 days? No, it's not possible. It's not possible. So what I'm gonna do for these 10 days and 5 days, so that I can quickly revise, I have to do something differently. I have to do something differently when I'm completing a subject. Now you understood what is the meaning of completing a subject. Now, what could I possibly do here so that it is going to help me in revision for those 10 days and 5 days, right? Where I'm going to quickly revise all the 19 subjects in 10 days, where I'm going to quickly revise all the 19 subjects in 5 days. What can I do possibly? Number one, see, look at this. Completing a subject, it means what? Whenever you read a subject, like let us say, suppose your pharmacology class is over, right? So whenever your pharma class is over, I have to find out, number one, I have to find out what is that I can do differently in pharma so that it is going to help me in revision later, quick revision, and it is going to improve my efficacy in the exam. So number one, what I can do is while I read all the notes, while my subject is getting completed every day. So my teacher comes, he teaches me, let us say ANS and CVS in one day. I go back home, I revise the entire content of ANS and CVS, and what I do, I pick up the drug of choice and antidote of choice and write them down separately in the back of copy, right? So now what I've done is I have started to filter out the content. Now this is something you have to do with every subject. Take 5 to 10 pages in the back of the copy for every subject and write down the high yield. The high yield. So in pharma, all of you know the high yield is drug of choice and antidotes of choice. So all right. So by the end of pharma class, I have at least 5 to 6 pages, or let us say 8 to 9 pages of DOC and antidotes of choice. Now what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do with this information that I've written down so that later it is gonna help me in this quick revisions? So every day, this drug of choice or antidotes of choice, just before going to sleep, can I revise them for 5 minutes? So 5 minutes, 5 drugs of choice, right? 5 minutes. So just before I go to sleep, I'll just look at 5 drugs of choice or antidotes of choice. And what I'm gonna do else, what else can I do is, see, only reading is not important. So I have to challenge myself. Do I remember the 10 drugs of choice that I have read yesterday and day before yesterday? Right? So I might remember many, I might not remember some, so I'll re-revise them. So by doing that, you do this exercise for 1 month and you would see that the entire drugs of choice, they would be on your tips. And later, when you go back to your notes for revising in these 10 days, you'll find it much easier when you cruise through your pharma notes, you know already half of the stuff. So the revision, your life becomes much easier. So that is one thing I have to do. Now, same thing you can do in micro, for example, in the back of the copy, you can write down those volatile stuffs like the appearance, post egg appearance, fried egg appearance, or the temperatures of autoclave, etc., or sterilization. So whatever is volatile you feel, you can write down on the back of the copy, right? So that is one thing. Like, for example, what can I do in biochemistry? I can write down the rate limiting enzymes, or a particular enzyme that is responsible for a particular disease, or the number of ATPs generated in a particular cycle, right? So all of these things which are something I need to revise before the exam. So remember, before the exam, in these 10 days, you'll not be able to revise each and everything in your notes. So while I write them down separately, which are difficult to remember, I have something which I can revise, not everything, but something which is high yield, right? That is one thing we can do. Second thing, see, whenever I read pharma or any other subject, there is one thing I have done. I've written down drugs of choice or antidotes of choice. Now see, there would be certain things in every subject which you need to revise maybe 10 times, 15 times, 20 times, Now, that is humanly not possible to revise that particular part if it is in my notes. I cannot do that. So what can I do differently so that I can revise only that particular portion? So it'll find some 10% or 15% part in a particular subject that would require frequent attention. For example, so what I'm going to do, let us say I come across a topic in pharma where I know that the MCQs would be asked, but it is difficult for me to master that particular point. So what I'm going to do, so let us say, for example, I come at anti-cancer drugs, and I know that there would be MCQs on drug of choice, there would be MCQs on side effects, right? So this is how I teach. If you remember, I draw a human being and then I annote all the drug of choice in one diagram and the side effects in one diagram. So what I can do is I can draw those two diagrams into A4 size paper and paste it on the wall so that anti-cancer drugs are always on my wall. So what I'm going to do is in my study room, I'll make a wall. So I'll make a wall. This is my wall of facts. So in 90 subjects, wherever I come across facts, which I find that I'll not be able to recall them. Let us say, for example, in medicine, you are finding difficulty in marking up the, renal tubular acidosis, or you're having difficulty finding, remembering, let us say, the hematology, the CDs, or in biochemistry, you're having difficulty in marking up this cycle. So what you can do is you can take small pasted papers, those yellow colors papers, pasted papers. So write down those information from your notes, which you find that this is something I would not be able to recall in the exam because it is highly volatile. Now that is something you have to judge. You're the best judge of your own abilities, right? So if you judge that this particular part in my notes, so now you have to be selective. You cannot write everything and paste it on the wall. This is not how it is going to work, right? Then, the purpose would be diluted. So in every subject, I need to filter out the most important part, which is volatile, but yet which is productive, so that every day, what I can do. So now see, my wall of fact is growing every day. I keep on pasting. Let us say from pharma, I know that there will be some MCQs on clinical trials and I'm not able to remember clinical trials. What I'll do, I'll just take one small page and write down all the information of phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, the high yield, and just paste it on the wall. Now see, I have a wall of facts. What I'm going to do with this wall of facts, see, every day while you're reading, you'll have that time, 15 minutes or half an hour, where you want to relax. You don't want to actively indulge yourself into studying something new, and you just want to have a cup of tea or coffee. So what you can do is just take a chair or just stand in front of that wall, sip your coffee and tea, and just look at the wall, just read them passively. Now what's going to happen? So you guys must have watched a movie. It's a Malayali movie, but it has been remade in Telugu and Hindi as well. I watched the Hindi version that is called as Drishyam. So in Drishyam movie, there is a dialogue that you never forget what you see. मतलब जो आप देखते हो कभी भूलते नहीं. So what I'm trying to do here, what I'm trying to help you guys here with is, all of you have your word memory, right? You have your word memory. I'm asking you to also encash on the pictorial memory. So just imagine you have that wall of fact, and every day, day after day, for the next 2 to 3 months, you're staring at whatever you have posted. That will create a picture in your brain. So believe me, guys, it does wonder. It does wonder. These are very small things. I need to have a very strong willpower. I need to have a lot of patience to do all these things. But remember, these small things, they create a huge difference in the outcome. But you have to be pragmatic about it. You have to believe in yourself. Why am I doing this? Is it going to help me? Yes. That is my promise to all of you guys. If you do this, whatever I'm saying, you're going to pass. Nobody's going to stop you. Right? But you have to be honest with you. You have to be honest with you. So guys, these are the things that I need to do. So this is what I mean. So now see, what's happening is, just remember, what I have now is I have my notes. So in this 30 days, in 30 days, when I go for revision, in this 30 days, I'm going to revise my notes. Write everything in my notes. But remember, another important point is, whenever you make your notes, remember, don't forget to mark the question points. Because another important point in these 30 days, see, in the first or second reading of your notes, you have to revise everything in your notes. But When I come to revision, I don't have to revise my notes cover to cover. I have to focus more on those points where Q is marked. Like for example, let us talk about autonomic nervous system, right? I'm just gonna give you how to revise pharma. In ANS, the neurotransmitter synthesis and receptors, they cover a lot of volume, but I don't have to mug them up. I don't have to revise them. Like let us say for example acetylcholine, I don't have to remember the all synthesis part. I just have to remember which antibiotic blocks pre-synaptic calcium channels and decreases release of acetylcholine aminoglycoside. If I remember this, my job is done. Which toxin blocks acetylcholine release? Botulinum toxin. 2 points and I'm done. I don't have to mug up the entire process of synthesis of acetylcholine. Are you getting my point? So that is what happens in each and every subject. Now, how do you know? Now, this is something which is sensitized to you by your teachers. I tell all the students in my classes, this is what you need to revise. This is what is just to make you understand the topic. Right? That should be clear. Second, what you can do is while solving MCQs, you'll get an idea of what are the Q points. So if it is not being marked by the teacher, it is your job to mark them going back to your notes, right? So mark those Q points. So in this 30 days, revise your entire notes nicely, briefly, right? Focusing more on the Q points, Now, when I come to these 10 days, what I'm going to do in these 10 days. So you understand, in these 10 days, revising all the 9 subjects, again, it is not possible. But can I do something? Yes, I can do something, because whenever I have completed a subject, for me, completion meant something else. What did I do? I have, for example, in pharma, I've written drugs of choice and antidotes of choice in the back of my copy. So what I can do is, in these 10 days, I cannot revise entire pharma. But can I at least revise the drugs of choice and antidotes of choice? Yes, I can do that. Plus, in these 10 days, can I, for 1 or 2 hours every day, briefly overlook that I have pasted on my wall? There is a wall of facts. So I'll have to make a combo for these 10 days. So for all 90 subjects, I have written something in the back of my copy, which I can, quickly revise and see. You might get from somewhere a combination of facts, right? Like a last minute revision kind of book. Remember, that is hugely counterproductive, right? I also got an LMR book when I was appearing for the exam. I took it, I read, line 1 has nothing to do with line 2. Line 2 has nothing to do with line 3. And I said to myself, how the hell am I going to retain this? So I threw it. I knew that the only thing that can help me clear the exam is my notes. It's just my notes, right? So I have to make it myself, concise my notes myself in the back of the copy, so that I can revise them in the last 10 days plus whatever is in the wall, right? Now, last 5 days. 5 days, you would agree, 5 days is very less. Again, 5 days, I cannot revise everything. So what I can do, at least in these 5 days, I have a wall of facts. Where the most high yield of each and every subject I pasted on the wall. Now, I cannot revise everything. But yes, at least can I revise that wall of facts, plus can I solve some MCQs or Q banks, plus I can focus a little bit on those subjects I'm weak in. For example, again in these 5 days, suppose I'm weak in pharma, so I'll just briefly, for 1 or 2 hours in these 5 days, I'll go through the drug of choice and antidotes of choice once again. So that is something I'm going to do in each and every subject. And I hope, guys, by now, it might be clear in your mind that what is the meaning of completing a subject. Meaning of completing a subject means I need to reinvent myself. I need to do things differently so that I'm rock solid prepared for the final stage where I'm going to give a mighty blow that is called as revision, right? Now, coming to another important part, there is a beautiful thing, guys. There is a beautiful, see, apps are beautiful innovation in our education industry. And the feature that I liked the most, one of them is custom modules. And if I was a student, I would have used it every day. Now, so those students I'm talking about, you guys are freshers now, and how you can use the custom module every day. What can I do possibly? Now, say, suppose you joined your coaching, and now 5 subjects, they have been completed. So 5 subjects have been completed. And now 6th subject is going on, right? 6th subject is going on. And now you are sitting in that sixth subject, and after the class, there is one thing running riots in your mind. That is, my 5 subjects are complete, but you have a fear that gradually I'm forgetting those 5 subjects. And you have kind of that fear. What will happen towards the end of exam? I wouldn't remember a thing about those subjects which were covered in the beginning, right? So as I move from subject 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, can I do something differently? So what I can do is, suppose, let us say 2 subjects has been completed, right? 2 subjects have been completed, and my third subject is going on. So I'll do what? Every day, I'll make a custom module of those 2 subjects. Suppose my 2 subjects which have been completed are ANAT and Biochem, for example, right? And my third subject going on is Pharma. So obviously, every day I have to revise whatever is being taught, but I will take out 30 minutes, not much, 30 minutes. I'll take out 30 minutes for ANAT and Biochem. I'll go to my apps. They have a beautiful feature called as custom module, and take 25 MCQs from ANAT and biochemistry, select, and while you select the custom modules, make sure to use the proper hashtag. So use the hashtag of FMGE, use the hashtag of NEET PG, then select the subjects as ANAT and biochemistry, and then go ahead. Do not select INI set. Do not select INI set, because INI set is not for you guys. Their MCQs are weird ones. We don't need to get confused. So FMG NEET PG MCQs, I'll select the hashtag. I'll select 25 MCQs. And what the app will do, the app will randomly throw anatomy and biochemistry questions, 25, which I can solve in 30 minutes. So I'll briefly, quickly, I'll solve, and I'll go through the explanation briefly, where I was wrong, where I was right. If I'm not getting the answers right, I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to bother about it, right? It is just that at least solving these MCQs will keep you brushing up with the subject. So it's anatomy and biochemistry. Suppose pharma is over. Now our pharma is over, and now my fourth subject is going on. Fourth subject, now let us say my fourth subject is going on, that is patho. Now pathology is going on, it is my fourth subject. So what I'm going to do now with pathology, what can I possibly do in pathology? Now I'll create a custom module with 3 subjects. I'll create a custom module with 3 subjects, that is ANAT, biochemistry, and pharma, 25 MCQs, right? Now, when 4th subject is over, I'll create a custom module with 4 subjects. So I'll keep on doing this. And later on, when you are done with 6 to 7 subjects, you can increase the number of MCQs from 25 to 50 if time persists. If you don't have time, don't go for 50. At least do 50 MCQs. 25 MCQs. At least 25 MCQs. Again, this is a very small thing. This is a small thing. I'm doing half an hour, something different, by which I'll not forget all those subjects which are being completed. So guys, simultaneously, so this is a beautiful thing, guys. Custom module is an amazing feature in the apps. Please do use them. Please do use them. And if you want to know exactly how to use it, I've made a video. You can find that in the Mero YouTube channel, how to use custom module specifically. It's there, right? Now, next important part, roll up MCQs and QBank. Now, why do I need to solve MCQs, right? Now, see, remember, guys, having knowledge of a particular subject or a particular topic is one thing, but being able to extract the right answer to an MCQ is a different thing. You might have all the knowledge in this world about a topic, you still might land up in the wrong answer. Now, so that even if you have limited knowledge about a topic, still you would land on the right answer, not always, but most of the times. For that, I need to practice MCQs. So why do I need to solve MCQs? Because solving MCQ is an art, and I need to develop that art day after day. And to develop that art, I need to solve MCQs every day. It has to be an everyday affair, no matter how many MCQs I solve. And I've just given you a brief idea how to solve MCQs. One is, what I'm doing is, I'm solving 25 MCQs every day in the form of custom module, right? Second, what I can do is how I can solve MCQs. Suppose today was my pharma class, and today ANS and CVS was covered. So what I can do, I can go to the QBank and solve MCQs only of ANS and CVS as much as I can. So what it does is, today my teacher has taught me ANS and CVS. I go back home, solve MCQs from the same topic. So what happens is, one, you get an idea of how MCQs are formed from a particular topic. You get the basic idea of that. Second, while you solve the MCQs for the first time, you might be able to solve a lot of MCQs on your own in the beginning even. And when you have read a particular concept and you solve the MCQ right, because of some reason, that particular point gets reinforced in your brain and you tend to remember them for a longer period of time. Second point, what I do is, see MCQs, if I'm not able to solve them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bookmark those MCQs, because that is my weak area, so that when my last 45 days of revision is going on, I don't solve all the questions from the Q bank. I only solve those questions which have been bookmarked. So that is something, again, I need to prepare simultaneously while I'm solving MCQs. So at the end of the day, you'll solve only bookmarked questions. And when you solve bookmarked questions, again, a lot of MCQs will be able to solve. So when you're able to solve the MCQ from the bookmark, then remove the bookmark. So again, you'll be left with few MCQs which you are not able to solve even on repeated attempts. Then again, you're gonna solve those MCQs, right? So that is the role of MCQs or Q bank. So solving MCQs should be a daily affair, because at the end of the day, another reason of solving MCQs is, at the end of the day, your exam is MCQ based. So when I go to the exam hall and I solve MCQ, it should not be a tiresome job for me. It should not be something new to me. It should be something I do every day. So throw the MCQs at me. This is what I'm born to do, right? So for these many months, if every day you had been solving MCQs, on the day of exam, it would create a lot of difference. So I hope, guys, I'm clear here. And second, why I solve MCQs is, see, third reason I'll tell you, for many MCQs, you'll know the answer directly. You'll know the answer, that this is the answer. I know it. For many, you have to rule out. So I'll rule out one option, I'll rule out two options, and you'll be stuck in between two options. Now, how to find the best possible answer among those two options is again an art which you will develop gradually. I'm not saying you'll be able to solve 100% of them correctly, but gradually your guesses will keep on increasing. Let us say from 40% to 50 to 60 to 70, as much as possible. I have to scratch for every extra mark that I can get by improvising myself, by doing anything possible. So this is one thing. Second, what is the role of grand test? See, why do I need to give grand test? So all of you know that in your exam, when I go to my exam, I have a paper 1 and I have a paper 2, right? 150 MCQs in paper 1 and 150 MCQs in paper 2. So I have these two papers. Now see, it pains me a lot. It pains me a lot when a student comes and says, sir, I left 10 MCQs or 20 MCQs because I could not manage time. Guys, leaving MCQs in an exam like FMG is a crime. Why? Because there is no negative marking. So I'm not supposed to leave any MCQ here. So why I need to give grand tests? Grand tests, they'll give you two papers, paper 1 and paper 2. One reason why I need to give grand tests is I have to learn about time management, how to manage my time. How to manage my time, you learn that grand test after grand test after grand test gradually. What am I supposed to do here? Try to understand. Whenever I appear for an exam, what is that I have to learn in the grand test? Number one, see, whenever you'll go for the exam directly without grand test, what's going to happen is, in some, the paper is jumbled. Some of you might get different sets, some of you might get different sets. So all of you will get the same MCQs, but in different way. So it might happen that you might get 10 to 20 MCQs which are difficult, particularly for you, and you're not able to solve that. Now, because of this, what's going to happen is your anxiety will kick in. And because of anxiety, after this 10 to 20 MCQs, even if you're getting good MCQs, easier ones, you'll not be able to solve them. But if you have given grand test, and such a thing will happen to you at least in one grand test, but you will realize that after this, you'll be able to solve many questions. You'll be able to solve many questions, And once you have solved a sizable number of questions, right? Let us say from 150, you have solved 70, 80 questions where you're damn confident. Then what happens? You come back to these difficult MCQs, you'll see you'll get the answer for many of them because your anxiety has cooled off, because you have a sizable number of 70 to 80 MCQs where you're confident about the answers. Now, this is one thing we need to give grant tests for, because in that 150 questions, there would be definitely in every exam, there are 70 to 80 questions, which I have to solve quickly. I don't have to take more than 4 to 5 seconds. I look at the options, I read the question, straight away I'll go for the answer. Now, this is something I have to practice in the grant test. So I will mark, first of all, in the first round, in the grant test, in the first round, I'll mark where I know the answer. I know answer, and here I'll not take more than 10 seconds. You know, if you know the answer, you'll not take more than 10 seconds to 15 seconds to solve the answer. So in those 70 to 80 questions, you know, I'm saving 50 seconds in each question, which I'm gonna reutilize. So suppose I'm remaining with another, another 70 questions after this, another 70 questions. Now for this, I will need more time. For these, I will need more time because obviously I was not able to solve them in the first round. So if I spend lesser time in the first round solving those MCQs where I know the answer, I'll be left with a lot of time to devote to these questions, 70 questions, which are difficult. Now here, in the remaining time, I'll try to solve these MCQs, 70 MCQs. And when you have gone through these 70, 80 MCQs where you know the answer, your anxiety cools off and you'll begin to get the answer. So you'll cover this answer in the second round. And let us say you're left with 20 questions. Let us say you're left with 20 questions. You have no idea. You have no idea what they're trying to ask. And if you go for random answers, the chances of getting right answer, it might be 0. So what I'm going to do is for all these 20 questions, it might be 20, 25, 30, right? So I'll mark same option. I'll mark same option. So mark same option for these 20 questions. So you have to practice this in the grant test. Otherwise, you will see on the day of the exam, you'll feel guilty while marking the same option for those 20 questions. See guys, I never tell you something I've never done. I have done this myself. There is a reason why I'm advising this to you, right? And 20 questions, same option you mark. You can choose anyone between A, B, C, and D. So this is how I'm gonna appear for my exam. But I need to rehearse this every month, at least once in my grant test. Now, there is a big myth that I should not appear for grant test if I've not completed at least 7 to 8 subjects. It's wrong, guys. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. Even if you have completed 0 subjects, you can still begin by attempting grant test. See, grant test is not to satisfy your ego, that how much you know, how many marks you're securing in grant test. That is my last thing I want to look at, right? I give grant test for another important reason, that is stamina. See, I should cruise through 150 MCQs without even a drop of sweat. So I should not get bored. My brain should not get hanged while I'm solving these 150 MCQs. What I'm trying to say, you'll realize when you give your very first grant test, what is going to happen is towards the end, when you are at for the very first grant test, when you have solved 70, 80, you'll kind of feel bored. You'll kind of feel your brain is hanged and you don't want to solve any questions. Now that number of questions which you can solve with ease, it will keep on rising grant test after grant test from 80 to 90 to 100, 120, 150. So in these both sessions, 150 MCQs, I should be able to cruise, boom, like a hot knife through the butter without even, having any kind of blockage in my brain or in my heart for those 150 questions. It needs a lot of practice. That is one of the important reasons of why I give grant test. Even if you have completed 2 subjects, 3 subjects, 4 subjects, does not matter. Start giving grant tests from today itself, right guys? So that's the importance of grant tests. That's the importance of grant tests. And finally guys, coming to revision, role of revision, see, your revision days are far away. So I'll make a different video, a specific video. So you can take this video as episode 1. So I'll be making at least 5 to 6 videos for FMG students. This one video is specifically for the freshers who are appearing for the exam, how they can plan, schedule their preparation along with their classes, be it offline or online, and prepare for this particular part called as revision. I'll make a specific video on how to go about revision, how to divide the 19 subjects in these 30 days, what to do in 10 days and 5 days. I have already told you guys. I'll again include that in the revision videos. Now, since we have a lot of time for revision, I'm focusing now on a particular aspect, that is how you freshers can plan so that you can get this extra marks in your exam. Now, for those students, I know all of you will comment, sir, I have completed 19 subjects and then what should I do? I'll make a separate video for you guys. So let us call that as episode number 2, right? Then a lot of you say, sir, I have been giving the exam for last 2 times or 3 times. I'm still not able to clear the exam. So I'll make a separate video for those students. So let us call it episode 3, right? And finally, I'll make a video for, revision. We'll call that as episode 4 at last. So I'll post it towards the end, that is in the October maybe, when your revision time is nearby, so that it is more productive, right guys? So this is my input into how you should plan and your FMG class, and how you should plan for the FMG exam. And being an aspirant of FMG exam, you should know what you need to do every day. I hope I have made that clear. And if you guys have any doubts, with respect to your prep, you can let me know in the comment box in this video, or you can directly message me on Insta. My Insta handle is @docfarmaniac. Right, you can always contact me on Instagram @docfarmaniac. I answer to each and every student. I make sure I answer to all of you. So I answer to each and every detailed query, whatever you guys ask me. And for the last thing is, I always end my lectures or sessions with a quote. And this is one of my quotes, which I love the most, is hard work can compensate for intelligence, but intelligence can never ever compensate for hard work. For some reasons, a lot of FMGs, they feel they're not intelligent enough, right? So I'm telling you guys, I don't feel like that. All FMG students, they're well capable of clearing this exam. They're even well capable of clearing the NEET PG or even INI set exam. The only thing is you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe that if you do adequate amount of hard work, you can beat any kind of intelligence around you. But on the contrary, if some of you FMG students, you think that you are too intelligent and you can clear the exam without hard work, now that is also wrong, right? No matter how intelligent you are, you cannot clear a screening exam like FMG or a competitive exam like NEET PG without adequate hard work. It needs a lot of hard work, guys. It needs a lot of hard work in the right direction. Plus, we need to do some smart work. So I've told you how to do the smart work. The basic purpose of making this video was to let you know how to do smart work along with hard work, guys. So my best wishes to all of you guys. And this is the best time to get out of the FMG mess, because the next exam is looming. God only knows when that's going to happen. But I don't think any other FMG batch had so much of motivation to clear the FMG exam, because you know what's coming for you in the form of next. So we don't know what is it, right? So nobody likes to live in uncertainty. So guys, take that as motivation. A lot of students, they ask me, sir, I feel demotivated, how to clear the exam? Now see, whenever you feel demotivated, try to find motivation in your life, right? Always see where I used to find motivation as a student was in the life of my parents. They sacrificed a lot for me. So whatever I have done in my life, whatever I do even today for my life, my primary source of inspiration are my parents. Whatever I do it for them, keeping in mind them, to keep them happy. And I never try to do anything because of which they would feel ashamed of me. So my source of inspiration are always my parents. That whatever sacrifices they have made for me, they should never feel that it is just like that and it is worthless, right? So always try to take inspiration from your parents. Talk to them. They should be your biggest source of inspiration. Whatever you are going to do it for them. Do it for yourself as well, because all of you know, right? You need to move on in life. And remember, FMG exam is just the first step, right? There are a lot of steps that are going to come in your life, but you're going to clear the exam with astounding results. The only thing you need to do is believe in yourself and follow whatever I have said to you guys. So guys, see you on the other side. Lots of love and blessings from my side. Take care. Bye bye. Lots of love.